Not everyone is fond of reading suspense and fiction, no offense, but right. We all have different taste, and having a taste in history books make me friends with others. You can't say that this American history book is boring because I have never found it. I can prove it for you. Let's move, my dear. The history of the United States is full of unexpected and coincidental occurrences, lofty goals, and absolutely awful tragedies, sudden shifts, and the steady passage of time. In other words, the material constitutes excellent writing. This volume is on the history of American life and times. Among many other events and occurrences, the many instances of people who fought for their rights throughout American history. Besides having an interest in history, you can take a lot of information and knowledge from these books. As I said before, the tragic and interlining histories will open your eyes on every page. So yes, I'm not dragging anymore. Let's move to these best American history books. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and share. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to never miss an update. Links to the books are given in the description below. Number 10. 1776 by David McCullough. Being well known to many people as a popular TV host and best-selling author. With that being said, a storyteller with an extraordinary talent for bringing to life the major figures and important moments in American history. David novels are known to jump off the shelves due to their extensive research and engaging style. Today on the top, it is 1776 by him. It is the narrative of regular Americans who enlisted to fight for their country. Men of every form, size, and color, including landowners, public school teachers, cobblers, no accounts, and even youths who enlisted. And it is the narrative of the King's troops, the British leader, William Howe, and his well-trained enemy soldiers who looked on their rebel adversaries with hatred and fought with a bravery that is too rarely recognized by the general public. David McCullough has written a book that is nothing short of brilliant. In it, he recounts the deeply personal stories of the people who walked with General George Washington in the year in which the Declaration of Independence was signed. Number 9. Battle Cry of Freedom by James M. McPherson. A strong advocate for preservation because James recognizes the crucial role in location and memory play in the development of historical understanding. A nationwide renaissance of interest in the Civil War was sparked in large part by the Battle Cry of Freedom. The events of Battle Cry of Freedom take place over 2 decades, beginning with the Mexican-American War and concluding with the surrender of Confederate forces at Appomattox. As a result, it looked at the time period of the Civil War, not simply the war itself, because it integrated the social, military, and political happenings of the time period into a single narrative structure. The book vividly shows the significant events that took place in the years leading up to the Civil War and are full of both dramatic and analytical content. It is the most comprehensive discussion of its topic I have ever seen in a single volume. It's possible that this one will go down in history as the best ever written. It is intellectual without being pedantic, eloquent without being rhetorical, and comprehensive while remaining short. It is written in a way that is compelling to read. Number 8. 1491 by Charles C. Mann. Author, historian, and science journalist Charles C. Mann. Charles' 1491 series, which compares life in the Americas before and after Columbus' arrival, was very well received. The world recognizes him for his brilliant writing and groundbreaking research that reveals the truth. Talking about his book, 1491, examines the Western Hemisphere before 1492, when a Spanish-employed Italian sailor arrived. Some of the most advanced cultures in human history had all but vanished a century after Columbus' discovery of the New World. 1491 is a must-read. It provides an understanding of what was eradicated in terms of human history and heritage. Charles C. Mann's breakthrough book changes our knowledge of the Americas before 1492. In a book that will shock and convince you, Mann describes how a younger generation of experts armed with innovative scientific approaches came to findings that had never been seen before. Mann shines an illuminating light on the ways utilized to arrive at these new images of the pre-Columbian Americas, and they've really changed our perspective of our past. He does this by providing a clearer understanding of the methodologies. His book is an engaging and enlightening tale of scientific investigation and discovery. Number 7. Empire of the Summer Moon by S.C. Gwynne. One hit book after another, when life is simple yet interesting, and so are the books that I can vouch for if you are into American history. He worked as a journalist for most of his professional life, holding positions with Time, such as bureau chief, national reporter, and senior editor, as well as an executive editor position with Texas Monthly, with writing such masterpieces. In this book, He told one of the most astonishing stories ever told is retold, which is also a spectacular historical reference to the 40-Year War for dominance of the American West. Empire of the Summer Moon has received numerous accolades and ratings, and it came very close to winning a Pulitzer Prize. Overall, it's a great read, with engaging prose and a wealth of fascinating tales. It details the struggle for dominance in the American West between these two groups. Number 6. American Colonies by Alan Taylor. A film and television filmmaker from San Francisco, California, United States, Alan is most known for directing episodes of shows airing on HBO. From getting education to getting awards, Alan has written over 7 books, and each one of them is better than the last. Primarily, the migration of European nations to the Americas was motivated by a desire to expand their wealth and extend their influence area over international affairs. Alan Taylor criticizes the standard story of colonial history in the inaugural Penguin History of the U.S. These are the civilizations that were instrumental in the formation of America, beginning with the indigenous peoples that have inhabited the land for millennia, continuing through the generations of Western colonization and invasion. American colonies began with Siberian migrations over the Bering Strait 15,000 years ago. It ends around the year 1800, when the general outlines of modern North America could be seen. Number 5. Team of Rivals by Doris Kearns. An American biographer with a big smile and pool of knowledge, Doris Kearns Goodwin is a winner of the Pulitzer Prize and a best-selling writer whose point of view on American history and presidential leadership has directly impacted how people who read view the current and past of this country. Over here, the difficult years of Abraham Lincoln's presidency are documented in the 2005 book Team of Rivals. These snippets explain how Lincoln used his political opponents as intimate counselors to keep the North unified, eradicate racism, and win the Civil War. Doris Kearns Goodwin, winner of the Pulitzer Prize and widely regarded as the world's foremost historian of the American presidency. He wrote a timeless classic about Abraham Lincoln's great politician, his improbable presidential term, and his cabinet of former political opponents titled Team of Rivals, which has become a work of genius in its own right. Number 4. Founding Brothers by Joseph J. Ellis. He is a Pulitzer Prize winner, professor at Harvard University, and popular public speaker known for his entertaining tales about George Washington and other U.S. presidents. I told you this to depict his work, which is real and special for him. Historian Joseph Ellis considers the 1790s the most important year in the history of the United States. During this time, the most influential leaders of their time came with each other to shape the new republic and chart its path for the generations to come. Ellis zeroes in on 6 separate occurrences that serve as examples of the most significant challenges that the young nation must overcome. Ellis's story is truly colorful and exciting as he describes the cooperative and humorously hostile exchanges between these individuals and reveals their true selves. Number 3. The Bully Pulpit by Doris Kearns. Interestingly, Doris is a huge fan of the World Series champion and was the first woman ever allowed in the team's locker room. Doris Kearns Goodwin provides a historical perspective on today's outbreak of the revolution and advice for how today's leaders might benefit from looking back on the past. The 7th book that Doris Kearns Goodwin wrote is titled The Bully Pulpit. The book was the result of her 7 years of study. The connection between Theodore Roosevelt and William Howard Taft serves as the primary focus of this book, which focuses on the Age of Enlightenment that occurred in the United States at the beginning of the 20th century. The Bully Pulpit tells the narrative of a period in American history that was significant for its ability to enlighten and transform the nation, usher in the modern age, and create some iconic men and women. This story is so captivating that it makes one wonder whether or not there is a place for fantasy in a world where real life is so rich in action and mystery. Number 2. Blood and Thunder, written by Hampton Sides, an award-winning novelist of great times who is most renowned for his engrossing non-fiction adventure stories featuring epic excursions of discovery and exploration. Hampton's stories typically take place during times of conflict. What's best about him is the captivating stories that are brought to life in his captivating talks, which fascinate listeners. The book Blood and Thunder was first released in 2001 and is a literary chronicle of the American West. The narrative focuses on Christopher Carson, who played a significant role in the settlement of that region of the United States between the years 1820 and 1860. Blood and Thunder is described as a packed history, and the New York Times says that Sections does every portion of it justice. In this version of the story, Kit Carson marries singing grass in 1826, becoming a mountain man. However, his way of life is being jeopardized by financial forces and overhunting. Number 1. The Guns of August by Barbara Tuchman. Starting straight, Tuchman has won 2 Pulitzer Prizes for her works and is widely considered one of the best famous historians in the United States. Tuchman's ability to assemble many precise details into a meaningful whole was vital in bringing a historical time or figure to life. She had a firm understanding of historical themes and a commanding literary style that she showed in her book. This book tells the story of discussions that took place between the great powers before the beginning of World War I in August of 1914. Her key argument was that diplomatic mistakes were to blame for the conflict. It is reported that former President John F. Kennedy was affected by this novel, which went on to win the Pulitzer Prize. Tuchman begins his investigation with the funeral of Edward VII and proceeds to trace each action that led to the conflict that was inevitably going to occur. As a result, The Guns of August offers a narrative of the early phases of World War I, beginning with the choices to go to war, and continuing up until the beginning of the Franco-British assault that halted the German march into France. As a direct consequence of this, trench warfare lasted for 4 years. American history has a combination of being exciting and boring at the same time. At this particular debate, I credit the authors who make boring stories more engaging with their words, and the authors that I have discussed above are worth reading or listening, whatever you prefer. If the video helped you find the next book you are going to read, then like and share this video. Let me know in comment section on what type of books I should cover in my next video. Also, if you read one of the books mentioned in this video, share your review or thoughts with us. Subscribe this channel for more such awesome videos. Thanks for watching.